welcome in. We have a restorative yoga class here for you guys today. Go ahead, grab a mat or two, get yourself nice and comfortable. We won't need any props for today's class. When it comes to restorative yoga, we're working a lot slower of a pace, not really getting the heart rate super elevated, and just working on relaxing and cooling down. For today, we are going to get started laying down on our backs. So go ahead, make your way onto your back. Soles of the feet are going to plant down on your mat, and you're going to walk your feet to the wide edges, and you're just going to allow the knees to internally rotate and want to touch one another. Arms are going to fall out toward your sides. Palms are going to be facing up. And just take a nice big inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh, let it all out. Feeling your belly rise and fall on each inhale and on each exhale, and allow your eyes to fall shut. And as you begin to work each inhale and each exhale completely unchanged, just letting it flow in and out through the body so you can take a full body scan. Maybe you recognize any points of tension, any points of softness. Where can you drop into and sink into a little bit more? Take a nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh, let it all out the mouth. Nice big inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh, let it all out. One more time, inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh, let it all out the mouth. And then just keeping the breath working in and out through the nose, making that oceanic, deep, throat sounding breath, kind of like your Darth Vader almost.
Honey, it was worth it. When we were kids, we'd practice pushing 100, seeing how fast we could go. Now we might get arrested, no matter what happens. I'll always know how to drive fast.
While you're here, maybe you take the time to set an intention for yourself, or you just recognize and give yourself the space to be present for you for the rest of this class. Taking one more inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh, let it all out, and just begin to gently separate the knees from one another, walking the feet closer so the soles touch and the knees fall open, coming into a bound angle butterfly position, allowing the right hand to rest on the heart and the left hand to rest on the belly. Still taking your inhales and exhales, filling the belly on each inhale, pulling the belly back on each exhale.
Honey, it was worth it. When we were kids, we'd practice pushing 100, seeing how fast we could go. Now we might get arrested, no matter what happens. I'll always know how to drive fast. How to drive.
2 more full rounds of breath. Inhale. And exhale. Final inhale. Final exhale. Taking the hands to the outsides of the knees, drawing and dragging them in, allowing the knees to fall in toward your chest, and then just let the hands maybe cup on the outsides of your knees here. If you can wrap the forearms around, then wrap and reach for opposite elbows, but being generous with the hip. If you feel any really intense pinching in either hip, just back off on the amount of tension. You're still getting a nice lower abdominal massage. You can roll side to side, opening up and releasing the low back.
Drive fast, yeah. We can do the sirens.
And then as you inhale, beginning to curl and lift the head and shoulders up and off, creating a nice tight ball for yourself here. Crossing at the ankles and then just beginning to rock forward and back. Massaging the spine all the way till you come into a seated position. And then we're gonna roll into our tabletop. So stacking our shoulders over our wrists, our hips over our knees. Toes are untucked. We're gonna take our first measure just to know that we're shoulder width and spiral the fingers inward so the middle fingers touch. And then press into the heels of your hands and rotate the fingers back forward to face forward. Walk your knees in a little bit closer than you think they should be, really creating our 90-degree angles both at the wrist and at the hip. Press down through the tops of the toes, feel your core fire on here. Gaze is forward and in front of you, and just take a nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale. On this time, as we inhale, tailbone lifts, collarbone spread. We come through our cow pose, getting a nice easy back bend. And as we exhale, pressing down and away, rounding the tailbone, tucking the chin, separating the shoulder blades. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts. Cow pose. Exhale, round it down, coming through your cat. Inhale. And exhale. And continuing to work this breath right here as you inhale, cow, exhale, cat. Working as slow or as fast as you would like. Keep pressing down through each finger pad. Keep pressing down through the tops of the feet. Imagine a string is just pulling you straight up and down. We're not shifting forward and back in any way. Gaze follows the motion, so you're looking all the way up to all the way back behind you. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Final one, inhale. And exhale. Coming back to your neutral tabletop. Just draw the big toes to touch and then press and sink the hips back here, taking a child's pose. Letting the arms soften. And if you need to spread the knees a little bit wider to open up into the hips a little bit more, give yourself that option. If you'd like to open up the low back more, then bring the knees a little bit closer together and just let yourself melt away into this posture. Following your inhale and your exhale. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh, let it out. And then on your next inhale, begin to walk the hands over to the right side, opening up into the left side body. And as you breathe here, there's a really powerful aspect of just being able to use your mind and your imagination. Feel like you're only filling up the left lung. Really create space on just the left side of your body.
Now we might get arrested no matter what happens. I'll always know how to drive fast. Whoa, how to drive fast, yeah.
Taking one more inhale here. And as you exhale, walk the hands back through center. And as your next inhale rolls around, walk the hands over to the left side, opening up into the right side body. So again, imagining you're only breathing in to the right side.
When I was trying to make it home by curfew, but I'd always push it because I wanted to stay with you. And in my mind the drive was 10 minutes when it was more like 22.
Taking one more inhale here, fill up nice and big. And then exhale, sigh, let it all out, walking your hands back through center. And then inhale to sit up at the back of your mat, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, palms press up. Exhale, fold into your child's pose. Inhale, press yourself up, tabletop. Tuck your toes beneath you. And then we're just gonna press and lift into our first downward facing dog. So I encourage bent knees. I like bent knees. It gives a little bit more space in the sacrum. Bring the pinkies in if you feel like they're spread out really wide. Press down through the toes, press down through the hands. And imagine here that your biceps want to frame your ears. So wrap the elbows inward. Keep pressing and lifting the ground away. Keep lifting the tailbone higher. Gazes toward the sole of the hands. One more breath. And then begin to tiptoe your way, walking yourself all the way to the front of your mat, coming and hanging here in this ragdoll position, measuring 2 fist distance between the arches of your feet, nice and snug. Bend the knees and let the head relax. So we sometimes think relaxing is looking at the top of our mat. Just look straight down. Close the eyes and reach for opposite elbows. Imagine your torso is touching your thighs, and one day your kneecaps will meet your armpits. Keeping the weight shifting between the forefoot and the back foot.
Like a red Corvette, we knew we might crash, but honey, it was worth it.
Maybe you sway
When
side
we
to
were
side,
kids, we
just to
practiced
open it
pushing
up.
100, seeing how fast we could go. Now we might get arrested, no matter what happens. Out always.
Releasing your hands down to the ground. As you take your inhale, we're just gonna unfold ourselves all the way up to standing. Arms reach up overhead, nice and light in the knees. Exhale, hands come heart center. Inhale, press the palms up. Exhale, forward fold and hang, 3 breaths. So as you fold, it's a hinge versus a rounding. So everything's coming from the hips versus the spine. Taking for opposite elbows, maybe a different way. One more breath here. Release the hands. Inhale to unfold all the way up. Exhale, hands heart center. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, fold all the way down. Giving yourself 3 breaths here.
Red Corvette, we knew we might crash, and honey, it was worth it. When we were kids, we practiced pushing 100, seeing how fast.
Releasing your hands down to the ground, stepping it back into a high plank. So we're up here, heels are kicking back behind you, core is nice and strong, gaze is forward and in front. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, drop down to the knees. You can keep the toes tucked or untucked, but we're gonna lower through Chaturanga. So elbows are gonna graze the ribs all the way down to the floor, taking our yogi push-up nice and strong. Inhale through baby cobra. It's a small lift. Exhale, release. Pressing ourselves up and back, child's pose. Give yourself 3 breaths here.
We might crash, but honey, it was worth it. When we were
Take a nice big inhale, feel your body fill up. Exhale, sigh, let it all out. And then inhale to press yourself up and in toward your tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Give it one more inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh, let it all out completely. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, begin to walk your way toward the top of your mat. Inhale, palms to shins, press, lift, extend. So you have a nice flat back. Gaze is down in front of you, shoulders are down the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Arms meet up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, palms to shins, press and lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, high plank. Inhale to shift forward, high on the toes, drop down to the knees. Lower all the way down, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Exhale to release, pressing yourself up and back. Child's pose, 3 breaths. Pressing the hips closer down toward the heels. Taking one more inhale through the nose. Exhale to let it all go. Inhale to press up toward your tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Downward dog. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, walk yourself top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms meet up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, high plank. Inhale to shift forward, and if you need to still drop to the knees, please do so. Lower Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog.
I was never the type to live on the edge.
Taking a nice strong inhale, strong exhale. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, make your way top of the mat. Final time through, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms meet up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, fold it down completely. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step it back, high plank. Lowering through Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Give yourself 5 breaths here. Rock the elbows in. Press the ground away. Tailbone reaches higher. Torso reaches closer to the tops of the thighs. Heels are energetically pulling down, so they may not ever touch the ground. Check in with your pinkies. Are they all the way out doing their own thing? Is your total hand engaged? One more breath. And then exhale, drop it down, child's pose.
Like a red Corvette, we knew we might crash, but honey, it was worth it. When we were kids, we'd practice pushing 100, seeing how fast we could go.
Coming back to your breath, back to your body.
What happens, I'll always know how to drive fast. Whoa, how to drive fast, yeah.
Taking one more inhale, one final exhale. And then pressing ourselves up and into our tabletop position. From here, you're just going to extend the right leg long back behind you, drawing your knee in toward your chest, cross the legs as if you were to be like cross-legged seated in a chair. Opening the toes out to either side, and then allowing yourself to rock and sit back onto your heels. Reaching for opposite, the hands toward the feet. Again, aiming to stack the knees on top of each other. So we're here, and we're just gonna make small hip circles. So you're just gonna lean forward and around, drawing the body through, kind of as if you were to imagine that you were like stirring a pot or stirring some water. getting the body a little bit more open. For 3, 2, and 1. And we're gonna stay with the right leg on top, and we're just gonna switch directions. So we're gonna rock all the way around. It's okay if the hip bone lifts. Trying to stay as grounded as possible for 3, 2, and 1. So from our cross-legged position, hands are gonna roll back in front of you. You're staying with the legs crossed. You're gonna tuck your toes beneath you. And now we're coming into a cross-legged downward facing dog. So the knees are fitting behind one another like a ball into a mitt. Create that imagery for yourself. Take a nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, identify the left foot and just braid cross step it in front of the right, coming back into your bent leg. So right knee is now fitting behind the left leg. Take a nice big inhale, begin to lift the right leg, braid it in front of the left. Inhale left, exhale step. Inhale right, exhale. So keeping this like third narrative and braiding the legs for 3, 2, and 1, ending in a neutral downward facing dog. Take a nice big inhale. And then exhale, step the right foot to the right thumb, dropping the left knee down. Walking the hands, so imagining a clock around you, and then your hands are gonna square at 10 and 2. And then pull the hips back in space. So the hips can be lifted as long as the spine is neutral. Working to stack the knee over. I don't want us dipping it down and into the hip right away. Imagine you had a block or a boundary in front of your left knee. And just holding it here nice and steady, nice and soft. Gazes forward and in front, heart and chest are pulling forward and through. Looking forward toward the potential. One more inhale. And then exhale, walk the hips back in space. Stretching out through the hamstring. One more time, inhale, just walk the legs forward, kneading right knee to right armpit. Literally, do it. Tuck the left toes, frame the right foot, step it up and back, downward facing dog. Give yourself 3 breaths right here to reset. And then drop down to the knees, untuck the toes, 3 breaths in your child's pose. So feeling the hips open up just a little bit more each time through. And then inhale, press into your tabletop position. So remeasure if you need to. Spiraling the middle fingers inward, press into the heels of the hands, turn them out. And then this time your left leg is gonna cross over the right. Open the toes out to either side and then sit back in between. Again, reaching the hands for the soles of the feet or the heels. You're making a connection. You're recognizing that the curvatures in your hands fit the ball of your foot. And we're gonna start going counterclockwise, so to the left. Inhale takes you forward, exhale takes you back and around. Feeling the left outer hip begin to open up. For 3, 2, and 1. And now we're gonna go clockwise, so stirring to the right. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to center. So rolling ourselves back into our tabletop. Tucking the toes beneath us, our left leg is still forward. Press it up and back. We meet in our cross-legged downward facing dog. And we're just gonna come back to that braiding. We're gonna place ourselves in the center. So as you inhale, right foot's gonna lift and cross in front of the left. As you exhale, you set it down. Inhale, left, exhale, drop. Inhale, exhale. And then you'll find your rhythm in your motion here. And our goal is to keep the knees fitting as close behind one another and making contact with ourselves. For 3, 2, and 1. Coming into our neutral downward facing dog, uncross the legs. Take a nice big inhale and then exhale, lunge and foot forward to meet the left thumb, dropping the right knee down, fitting our left knee into our left armpit, and then we can really imagine this clock. So our gaze and our heart pull forward at 12. Our left hand is at 10 o'clock, the right hand is at 2 o'clock, and our hips are level at 3 and 9 while the tailbone pulls back towards 6 o'clock. So we can really imagine ourselves in time and space and taking up this area. Filling up nice and big, nice and light through the hands, so we're not dumping into either side. We're really here in our stability. The hands are just barely touching the ground. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale, shift the hips back in space, taking a nice half split. Again, hips are staying at 3 and 9. One more inhale. And exhale, bend the front knee, walk it forward, tuck the left toes, step it back, downward facing dog. Give yourself 5 breaths here.
We knew we might crash, but honey, it was worth it. When we were kids, we'd practice pushing.
Nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh, let it all out. Inhale. And exhale. Dropping down to the knees. Untucking our toes and sweeping our legs long out in front of us. We are going to come back into our bound angle butterfly leg. So the soles of the feet touch, the heels touch, and then your hands are just going to cup and interlace around the fingers. And you can bring the feet as close to the body as you would like. The more of an inner hip stretch you're going to be getting. Or if you need to press them a little further away, go for it. But we're going to work our cat-cow from here. So we have a nice tip in the pelvis to reach for the feet. As you inhale, just pull the chest forward and through, lift the gaze. And then exhale, all that's going to move is the upper body. We're going to pull back, breathing in between the shoulder blades. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, find your cat like spine, really pulling straight back and through. Inhale, find your cow. Exhale, find your cat. 2 more, inhale. And exhale. Final one, inhale. Exhale, tuck the chin to the chest, pull between the shoulder blades and hold here. While in this rounded cat-like position, take a nice big inhale into the backside body. Feel the shoulder blades expand, the kidneys expand. And exhale, return back to neutral, unbinding the feet, planting the soles of the feet on our mat, and then just reclining back, letting the arms rest down by your sides. We're going to come into a restorative bridge or a traditional bridge, whichever you are most comfortable with. From here, all you're going to do is spread the toes nice and wide and then just tip the hips up and back. And on your next inhale, just press and begin to lift the hips. So you're welcome to stay right here in this bridge pose. If you would like to take it more restorative, You can walk the hands underneath the hips so that they're resting in the palms of the hands. Driving down through the bicep and tricep, so the upper arm, the collarbone, the chest. It's all open, so the backs of the shoulders are what are pressing into the mat. The feet are grounded, rooted. You're here for one more breath. And exhale, slowly let it all the way back down toward your mat. Walking our feet to the wide edges and then just allowing the knees to knock inwards, just like how we started our practice. Palms are open up off to the sides. As we stay here, our left knee is going to stay where it's at, and our right knee is just going to begin to peel open. So we're windshield wipering our knees here, getting into the IT band and the quad. Inhale to take both knees into center. They're not touching, they're more in like this V shape. And then exhale, left knee falls outside, right knee drops inside. Inhale to come back to center. Exhale, drop the knees to the right. Inhale, pulls you back to center. And exhale, drop the knees over to the left. Coming back to center, heel ball toeing both feet inwards. Taking the right foot and just crossing it on top of your left ankle. And I want you to just simply hold it here. We're not taking it any further. And just breathing into the space of the hip. You don't necessarily have to feel a deep stretch to know that you're getting the stretch. The outer hip is still opening up, externally rotating. And from here, as you begin to exhale, just drop the left knee to the left and the foot's gonna follow. So you're planting here, and now you're really gonna feel the outside of the right hip beginning to open up. Flexing through the left foot. One more inhale and one more exhale, and then slowly with control, using the core, draw the feet back to center, uncross the right ankle from the left knee, and then drawing the left knee or ankle on top of the right knee. And then again, just breathing into this space, so gently guiding the knee out. If you need to use the hand, you are welcome to use the hand. Taking one strong inhale, and then as you exhale, rotating the foot and the knee, keeping that connection over to the right, and now feeling the left outer hip begin to open up. Seeing how fast we could go, now we might get arrested. No matter what happens, I'll always know how to drive fast. Back to center, uncrossing the legs and extending them long out in front of you, coming into your final resting pose of Shavasana. Hands can remain up by the sides, or you can take one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest, and just feeling where the breath rises and falls. Allowing yourself to have 10 full rounds of breath. Feeling each inhale and each exhale come through your body letting something relax each time through, releasing the jaw of any tension. Maybe drawing the chin a little bit closer to the chest.
It all started when I was trying to make it home by curfew, but I'd always push it because I wanted to stay with you. And in my mind the drive was 10 minutes when it was more like 22.
One more inhale through the nose.
Driving home midnight taught me how you taught me
Exhale,
how to
sigh, let it all out.
fast like a red Corvette.
And beginning to wiggle the toes and fingers, rolling the ankles and rolling the wrists.
When we were kids, we'd practice pushing 100, seeing how fast we could go.
And reaching the arms up overhead, pointing to the toes, taking a nice, easy full body stretch. And as you exhale, relax, walking the feet inward and then rolling onto your right or left side, using the bicep as a pillow.
To live on the edge, taught to follow the rules, don't cause no trouble, stay under the
And then with ease and softness, just gently begin to press your way up into a seated position, facing the top of your mat. Feeling your tailbone ground you down, the crown of your head pull you up just a little bit taller, allowing the eyes to remain closed. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh, let it all out of the mouth. Taking another nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh, let it all out the mouth. One more time, inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh, let it all out the mouth. Allowing the hands to come heart center. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be here with you all. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining. If you're interested in some other videos for yourself, go ahead, feel free to check these ones out. Otherwise, again, have a beautiful rest of your day.